aftermaths of the French Revolution, the liberals abolished hereditary privileges and established a constitutional monarchy. The radicals institute a reign of terror along with the execution of our king, King Louis XVI. A battle occurs in Belgium. What does this mean for the people of France? New women's marches inspired by the revolution, and a slave rebellion in Haiti led by Toussaint Louverture. This is French News Now, reporting from Paris, France. Good evening to the people of France and happy Friday. I'm Marquis de Lafayette. France is experiencing a revolution because of a corrupt monarchy and clergy. King Louis XVI is mismanaging France's money and is unfit to be king. He is irresponsible and greedy. The French Revolution could truly be a breakthrough for France. It has already shown improvement in the lives of the peasants, the bourgeoisie, and women. Here is more about the French Revolution with Pierre Badeaux.
There were many causes to the French Revolution. The peasants were really struggling. They were overlooked and disregarded by society, and they were fed up. They deserved to be treated as equal members of society and treated with the respect they deserve. There was also a shortage of bread. A heavier taxation was placed on bread and made it difficult for peasants and the lower class to purchase bread. Bread was a staple food, and the monarchy and clergy were basically letting the peasants starve. The last cause of the French Revolution was France's involvement in the American Revolution. France provided money for America to fight in their revolution. The problem is, that left us in a massive amount of debt. This is another example of the king's irresponsible spending. Lafayette?
Thank you, Pierre. As the revolution progressed, France went through a liberal phase. Hereditary privileges were abolished and a constitutional monarchy was established. Bernard Fontaine is at the ruins of Bastille after the storming of the prison. Good evening, Bernard.
Good evening. First, let's discuss the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizens that was written. King Louis XVI finally signed it to placate the angry crowds of Versailles. The Declaration states, "The principle of all sovereignty resides essentially in the nation. No body nor individual may exercise any authority which does not proceed directly from the nation." And law is the expression of the general will, among other rights of man, and it is not surprising that Louis XVI was hesitant to sign, since he likes to be the sole leader and wouldn't want his spendings and policies to be controlled. It's just common sense that all humans deserve equal rights and they deserve to be treated the same. No man is above another. No man's life should matter more than another man's life because of the amount of wealth they have. Alright, let's discuss the civil constitution of the clergy. This was a law that reorganized the Roman Catholic Church of France, abolished tithes, confiscated church lands, reduced the number of bishops, and had the state pay clergy wages. Okay, moving on to our last topic of discussion regarding the liberal phase, the abolition of provinces and the division of France into departments. There were 83 departments with limited power from an elected general. Louis XVI also finally accepts the National Assembly and later the Legislative Assembly, which limits royal power. Back to you, Lafayette.
Thanks, Bernard. The Jacobin Republic has instituted the Reign of Terror. They have fixed prices and wages and pursued a policy of dechristianization. A committee of public safety has been developed to manage our failing government and foreign wars.
Georges Danton and his group of people have risen up in the ranks to control the public committee, and it seems like we are slowly getting more moderate from the horrible radical views. But unfortunately, he has not been re-elected, and Robespierre has taken control of the committee. Robespierre and his extreme radical party declares, "The king must die so that the country can live." King Louis XIV was caught conspiring with foreign powers and was soon executed. It is a horrible thing for a king to betray his country. But did we have to kill him?
King Louis XVI on his last words said, "I forgive my enemies. I trust that my death will be the happiness of my people, but I grieve for France and I fear she may suffer the anger of the Lord." We are not sure if his death will bring happiness for the people of France. As you can see here in the picture, many people are still mourning over the death of their king, and the radical party of France has gotten even more violent.
Writer Jean-Paul Marat urges for bloodlust in his new pamphlet L'Ami du Peuple, stating, "O foolish nation, why haven't you renounced your vain babbling and followed the advice of your friend, armed yourself with rope, with daggers, and ended the days of those of your defeated enemies who would have the audacity to rise up again?" You can see that he is urging for France to take harsh measures against anyone who opposes them, and has caused many uprisings throughout the past week. There were even some revolts in Normandy, Lyon, and Bordeaux, which the Reign of Terror quickly crushed, killing around 17,000 people. All along, our ever-increasingly radical government has raised an army of more than 1 million men. A levée en masse, or mass conscription, has taken away any able-bodied men to prepare for war after many threats from surrounding countries. Our large army led to a victory in recapturing Belgium. This victory, after many losses and threats from other foreign countries, might lead to a new hope and makes the Reign of Terror's economic and social restrictions almost pointless, and soon after Robespierre is overthrown and executed. Meanwhile, in the west and southeast, some new royalist revolts begin to occur, but were crushed by Napoleon, which we will interview another time to see how he managed to influence and change France for the better. Other women's marches were held, inspired by the revolution, as well as the slave revolution in Haiti, led by Toussaint Louverture. Many were inspired by the emphasis on human equality and rights. Anyways, that's it for today, folks. Thanks for listening to tonight's French News Now. I'm Marquis de Lafayette, reporting from Paris, and from all of us, have a safe and happy Friday. Good night.